Yeah, the topic we have here is pulley system during concreting. So, when you're concreting your formwork and you get to, a height, maybe you're working on the first floor or the second floor, you understand, it becomes very, very important for you to start thinking of how do the construction at such height. So that is where pulley systems are used, during construction, because it helps to reduce, moving materials from the ground floor to the either the first, second, or the third floor. So importance of pulley systems during concreting. So we'll be looking at the importance, the uses, and the key areas where this pulley system is used. So let's even take a look at the definition of pulley systems during concreting. So a pulley system is a simple lifting mechanism used to raise and lower concrete material. So it's a very simple mechanism that is designed to use in raising concrete. It helps to lift the concrete to the desired location and also to lower, concrete or lower any other material, to the desired location. And lower concrete materials and tools with less effort. So it reduces manual labor, improves safety, and ensures smooth and efficient movement of concrete to higher levels, especially in multi-story buildings and hard to access area. So we actually make use of these pulley systems, in areas in multi-story buildings and hard to access areas. That is areas you can't easily access. You understand? Because this actually makes the job easier, right? But in some buildings that you can't afford crane, because when you are working on high-rise buildings, instead of this pulley system, you can just use your crane to be lifting your blocks, your concrete, your cement, your material. But in small buildings, construction of residential buildings that you can't even, afford cranes to be used on your project, you can just make use of this simple pulley system that will help to reduce the work load on the labor. So you used to transport your concrete, used to transport your materials and all those things. So we'll be taking a look at the key reasons why we make use of this pulley system. Why are we having this pulley system in construction? Areas where this pulley system is applicable. So we'll be taking a look at all these things. So let's take a look at the key reasons first. So the first reason here is reduces manual labor. Manual labor is one thing we are even trying to eradicate in construction, because it is actually in manual labor you have series of accidents, series of injuries, series of unsafe practices, that can even lead to death in construction. So, the more you reduce manual labor to an extent whereby you're only ascribing the most pertinent job to, that is critical jobs to people to handle. You understand? Not all jobs, you understand? Just the ones that are technically inclined, right? So it actually helps to reduce accident and reduce unnecessary chaos on site. So manual labor is very, very important, is very, very, very important. So minimizes physical extension by lifting heavy loads with less effort. It helps you to actually lift heavy loads with less effort, efficiently. So with this pulley system, you can lift, your load efficiently without, more effort. You understand? Just less effort of and less wastage of time. You have lifted your materials, whatsoever you want to lift, right? And this actually helps to reduce the usage of manual labor. you stand, so to say. So it actually helps you to reduce the giving the instruction to carry 10 bags of cement to the second floor. Whereas you have your pulley system, you can just, move your 10 bags. You can move it maybe three bags, or depending on what the pulley system can carry, and transport it directly to your third floor without even asking people to start carrying bags of cement on their heads. So this actually helps to reduce manual labor. So the second point is improve safety. So lower the risk of injuries by reducing manual handling and unsafe lifting practices. So pulley system actually helps to improve safety on site. It eradicates manual labor to an extent, giving jobs that are highly risky to people. You understand? And also, it actually helps to reduce the accident rate on site, because it lowers the risk of injuries by reducing manual handling. So there is no manual handling and lifting of all these items on site. And actually, the unsafe lifting practices. Okay, moko carry and moko jack am. We can carry it, we can do it. Some of these labours, they don't even tend to even think about their own safety. In as much as the instruction is given, they will look at how to go about executing such instruction. But regardless, it is your role as an engineer on site to actually understand how this thing works, and also how to keep your labor safe from harmful practices. So the next point is enhances productivity. Speeds up the concreting process by ensuring faster vertical transportation. Faster vertical transportation is very, very essential. That is why provision for this pulley system is made on site. Provision for crane is also made available on site. Because if you don't have this vertical transportation, you can now start working and transporting, within the building, and it actually leads to waste of time, waste of money, waste of material sometimes, right? So it actually helps to enhances the productivity. So it speeds up the concreting process by ensuring faster vertical transportation. So the next point is accurate placement. So helps to in precise positioning of concrete buckets of the desired location. So it says, let me take that again. It says helps in precise positioning of concrete buckets in the desired location. Yes, because since the concrete bucket is coming, it actually helps you to position the concrete bucket in the desired location, which actually helps in accurate placement, right? Because as the bucket is coming, you can drag the bucket to where you want the pour to be done, then before you do your pouring. So it actually helps to improve the accuracy of your placement. Then cost effective, we have simple, durable, and economical solution that saves time and reduces labor costs. So it actually helps to save time, and also helps to reduce the labor cost. So we'll be taking a look at the applications, then the uses of this concrete pulley system. So lifting concrete buckets to higher floors in multi-story buildings. So you can actually use this to lift concrete buckets, in higher floors in multi-story buildings, right? So this is one of the essential areas where this pulley system is used. Then transporting concrete in sites with limited space. So you can actually do this to transport concrete on site, where you have limited space. Then hoisting construction material and tools during concreting, right? You can help use this to hoist your construction materials and tools too. Then used in small to medium scale construction projects. So you can actually use this in small to medium scale. That is small to medium scale, because when you are going to large scale, that is where you'll be making use of your crane. But for your small to medium scale, you can actually tend to make use of this. Then pouring concrete in columns, beams, walls and slab. So you can use this to pour your concrete in your columns, your walls, your beams and slab. Then useful in areas without cranes or mechanical lifting equipment. So you can actually use this in absence of crane, right? It's just that you can't go as high as a crane would go. So but you can still be useful. Then typical structure of a pulley system. So we have a pulley system here. We have the rope, we have the hook, shackle, then we have the ankle and the base, then we have the support beam, then we have the pulley wheel, then the concrete bucket. So concrete bucket is used to transport the concrete from your lower end to your higher end. So this is all about pulley system during concreting. So we've taken a look at the key reasons why it is used. We've taken a look at the definition of this system. Then we have also taken a look at the application and uses of this system.